Today I'm here with Will and we're going to be checking out his 2016 Ford Focus ST. Goodness, that is awesome. So I know this thing is far from stock. Can you go over the build a little bit as far as performance?
Yeah, I mean, what haven't I done to it, honestly? A lot of kudos to my brother. Without him, this car wouldn't be here. Me and him grew up two poor white kids from Detroit, and we basically built this out of our backyard, more or less. Wrapped it in our backyard, wheels, tires, suspensions on coilovers, big brake kit with the Brembo RS conversion, drilled slotted rotors, motor mounts, transmission mounts, TB crash bar, and under bracing underneath the car. Obviously, it's stickered out for these rallies I do, so these are all my sponsors. Wrapped in Avery Denson Sky Blue with legitimate Shelby racing stripes and decals, besides the ST500, of course.
Okay.
Shelby has just like a dream, like a realistic dream car of mine, and I just took a lot of influence from the blue and white with the racing stripes, and I spent a lot of money on authentic Shelby stripes when I could have just bought white vinyl and probably saved 3 times the price.
Right.
But yeah, there's my little quirk.
That's sweet.
Interior's gutted with an authentic Ford racing roll cage that came out of the Adrenaline Academy Ford Focus RS.
No way. That is sweet.
So it's legit from their Focus RS. Corbo RRSs, Corbo harnesses as well. Water ethanol injection. I mean, I could keep going.
That's amazing. So as far as the power and torque, what is this pushing?
To the wheels, it's 445 to the ground horse and 452 torque. So it's right around probably 500 to the motor. Wow. Kind of where I got the ST500 idea from, and also from the inspiration that I have for of course, the Shelby GT 500s.
That's awesome. Can you go in detail what parts you have for the power?
Yeah, stock, these are 252 from the factory. This is, as you mentioned, far from that. So high pressure fuel pump is going to be a big one to really get the fuel into the motor, of course. I have the Snow Performance water ethanol pump in the back, which is actually spraying water ethanol. It's an 80-20 speed sauce mix.
Okay.
And then big turbo, 2867R, 0.64 to Garrett. Yeah, I mean, intake, intercooler, piping, exhaust, downpipe, like the normal bolt-ons, tires, stuff like that. But the big ones is the fueling, and then obviously the big turbo. So
as far as exhaust, what are you running on there?
I have an ESP, who's an awesome dude, kind of not well known in the Focus world, but he makes great products. ESP catless downpipe with a Borla exhaust. I only recommend Borla on these cars. A lot of people go AWE. They're more like straight pipey, not as crisp sound. It's more of like an obnoxious sound. So Borla all the way for me. And then CPE intercooler with the piping to match with it as well. And then a Roush Intake.
Sweet, that's awesome. So you mentioned you're on coilovers. What are you running for those?
Megan Racing coilovers, probably the cheapest thing on terms of quality. Coilovers were one of the very first things I bought for these cars. They're still $1,000, but I know I could have gone like Eibach or Tane or kind of a higher quality, but they've honestly been great for me. I've raced the car several times over the last 4 years, and they're still going strong.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And what are the wheels you got there?
So those used to be Artisa Artform before they switched the name over to Anovia. So these are, I believe, Kinetics, 18 by 8.5 plus 38s wrapped on Firehawk Indy 500s, 245/40 18s.
Sweet. Okay. Coming from the owner, you've had this car for a few years. What is your favorite thing about this car?
It's the TV crash bar, for sure, for aesthetic purposes and cosmetic. A lot of people love the seats, which I love the seats too, for not only the safety aspect, but of course how it looks. Yeah, the seats were kind of like an afterthought. You know, a lot of car people our age, you know, it's Fast and Furious, Need for Speed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a car with harnesses, and at the time I wasn't doing competitive racing to where I needed that kind of safety equipment, and then I ended up getting them. Everybody loves them at shows, and now I need them for what I do now anyway. So it worked out both ways. And then the roll cage was kind of just another thing where it's like, dude, I really want a roll cage, and then I got one, and now I do stuff that I need roll cage for. And then, yeah, the whole story of like the Focus RS coming from there, I wasn't looking for that. That's just the one that I ended up getting, that this backstory reached out, and I have a picture of it on my Facebook of like the RS that it came out of. So
that's sweet.
Authentic race car stuff.
That is really cool. If you had to choose one thing that's your least favorite thing about the car, what would that be?
Man, I don't know if anyone's ever asked me that. It used to, I don't know. My least favorite thing about that car. You know, I guess my least favorite thing about the car At this point, which is kind of funny, is I'm just limited to the motor. I mean, I can only be so happy that this motor, I've doubled the horsepower and the torque that this motor came from the factory. But if I wanted to do more, I have to put a motor into this car. And between that, a built trans, a bigger turbo, maybe even more fueling, I'm looking at $20,000 to make this car any faster.
Yeah.
So it's a great problem to have, and you know, every car guy could say, yeah, if I put a built motor in my car, but I understand that for sure. So at this point, with where the car sits now, it just sucks that I have to put 10, 20 grand into it. So I guess that'd be my least favorite part. But...
All right, makes sense. Well, I'm super excited to get a ride on it. Shall we take it for a spin?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's a nice little rumble.
Yeah, she's warm, so it wasn't as obnoxious.
All right, yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Do your thing. You can try to scare me. Just don't kill me.
We'll have a fun time.
Yeah. Pretty fun to drive this thing.
Oh, it's a blast. It's an absolute riot. I just put this new clutch in. Oh, I forgot to mention the clutch. I have a competition 6-puck clutch. Okay. It's like straight race clutch. Wow. I put it in, my brother put it in like 5 days ago.
Oh yeah.
So the, like that, you can usually hear it on idle. That, like, clicking. I don't know if you can hear it. Whatever, that's the clutch. Okay. Some people, yeah, since I put it in, people are like, dude, like, there's something broken in your car. I'm like, no, any lightweight flywheel, it has that weird idle to it. Oh yeah. Which was scary to me at first, because I ripped my entire car apart, did the motor mounts, the trans mounts, put the clutch in, and I heard that, and I was like, there's no way. Oh. Like, I'm not doing this again. But then I looked it up, it's completely normal. Any day now. Yeah, right. Great content. Great, this is it. Red light. I love the sound of it. Yeah. Sounds good. You gotta give it a little bit. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. That sounds so good. That blow-off valve sounds sweet. So I've had all of them. I've had the Turbo Smart, I've had the Tile, and then this is the HKS. I looked up what's the blow-off valve from Fast and Furious. Oh really? Yeah, and because it was that high-pitched, like very distinctive sound. Yeah. And it's, lo and behold, it's the HKS, and I was like, yep, gosh, I gotta do that. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That sound is good. Man. It picks up fast. Oh man, I love it. She stops on a dime too. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, good brakes. Big Brembo brakes. You can do a loop in the roundabout. Oh. It's such a fun car. That's awesome. A little bit of wheel spin. Got wheel spin. I'm guessing it's built for cornering. Oh yeah, right? Like, yeah. So I've been doing these roll events, and I've been humbled. It's definitely not a drag car, which it's not built for that reason. Yeah. And I mean the cars that show up to those events are just disgusting. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, this thing is meant for cornering. It's meant for coming out of apexes and just being a rocket ship. That's awesome. But how many pounds of boost do you push, right? Like 30. 30? 30 when the weather is perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like it's 81 degrees right now. That's not gonna happen. Yeah. But on a nice spring or fall day. Yeah, 60-degree day. Yeah, I mean it spools, it hits hard, and yeah, it'll get up to like 29.8. So practically 30 pounds of boost. That's insane.
And
And to thank Will, the owner of this car, let's all go give him a follow on Instagram. And if you like what you just watched, you're definitely going to want to click on this video next.